Hi everyone, let's solve this problem. Spiral matrix. Given an m cross n matrix, return all elements of the matrix in spiral order. So spiral order is nothing but you kind of start at 0 0, you kind of traverse first row, then last column, and then the last row, and you kind of keep iterating the same steps. Same here, you kind of go in spiral direction. So let's see how we can solve this. Let's say for example, first you will have this is rowStart, this is rowEnd, and this will be columnStart, and this will be columnEnd. So if you see the first step, where are we moving from? columnStart to columnEnd. So we kind of first let's define all these variables and let's write it so you'll understand it even better. So let's say rows is equals to matrix dot length, let columns is equals to matrix of 0 dot length, and now let's say row start will be 0, let row end will be rows minus 1, let column start will be 0, and column end will be equal to cols minus 1. So obviously we'll have to have the basic cases where col start should be less than or equal to column end, and then row start should be less than or equal to row end. These checks are like mandatory. So now we are moving from col start to column end, and basically column is represented using j variable, second dimension, row is used by I, so that you'll understand it better. Let's say for example now I'm moving the column, so j equal to column start, j less than or equal to column end, j plus plus. Now we'll also have to maintain a result array where we are going to push our elements, right? So whatever elements we traverse, we will push it. So in this case, result dot push matrix of j, and what will be the I here? The I here will be the row start, right? The first row is what we are kind of traversing, so it will be row start. So once this particular section is done, what are we going to do? We are going to increment our row start, because if you see in this case, let's say I'll start iterating. So I'll process 1, process 2, process 3. So all the elements in this case are done. In that case, what will I have to do? I'll have to just increment my row start. So my row start will be here currently, right? These elements are done. Now again, the next first step is call start to call end, which we are done. Now the second step is to move from here, row start is here, row end is here, so we are going to move from row start to row end, right? Let's see. For let I is equals to row start, I less than or equal to row end, and I plus plus. Now in this case, we are going to push our element of matrix of I, comma j will be, if you see, j is column end, so I'll be using column end. And once this particular traversal is done, I am done with this particular column. That means I'll have to move my column end to previous column. So what can I do? I can just do column and minus minus. Now let's say for example I just have this particular thing. Let's say row start is also here, row end is also here, and let's say column start is also here, column end is here. Let's say 1 2 3 is there. So initially we are going to take this direction, so I'll get 1 2 3. Once I kind of finish this, what I'll do, I'll move my row start to the next element, next particular row. So in this case, what will happen now, I'm going to iterate over the columns. This particular column is already done, right? And also, like, all these elements are done. So once you are kind of done with rows, like these two particular changes, we'll also have to check if in this case row start has become greater than row end. So there might be a case where, like, if you take just this particular case 1 2 3, where column start and column end are here and row start and row end are here, it might happen that column start can cross column end, right? So we have to check those cases. If let's say row start is greater than row end, or col start is greater than col end, in that case what are we going to do, we are going to just break, and because we are kind of done with all the cells. Now let's go back here, and now in this case we are done with the first row, last column. Now third step, we are going from column end to column start. So when I'm going from column end to column start, and that is j variable, right? Because it's kind of a columns, I'm moving columns, not rows. So let j is equals to column end j greater than or equal to column start, and j minus minus result dot push of matrix of whatever is I. So what is I is row end, right? If you see here in this case, we are kind of iterating the last row. So row end, and then we are done row end minus minus. Similarly, there will be I. In this case, we are going to start at row end, and we are going to move towards row start, right? This case. So let's just do row end I is greater than or equal to row start I minus minus. So we will push matrix of I, comma, this is column start. If you see this particular cell, the direction wherever we are going, this will have a column start, right? So that will be the column start, and then I will just remove column minus minus. So once this is done, we have to go into this particular direction, because colStart also will go here and we also will process it. So this 4 steps will be keep repeating as long as these conditions are being met. colStart is less than or equal to column end, or rowStart is less than or row end. And if after any of these scenarios, if this condition breaks, then we have to come out of the loop. So at the end we will return the result. Okay, let's just check what happened. So here columns and rows 0 and result, this is fine. We are starting a colStart to colEnd, it's j, so we are using rowStart, this is fine. And I rowStart to rowEnd less than or equal to, and pushing column end, this is also fine. and we are decrementing the column end. Okay, if row start is greater than row end, or okay, let me just also have this, and we are kind of breaking it up. And then the third case is like column end greater than or equal to column start, and j minus 1 is we are using the row end, and row end will be row end minus minus. Then I will start at row end and I'll go till row start, and I'll go, so this is column start. Okay, this should be column start plus plus, because once we kind of move column start plus plus. Now let's try to run this. Let's submit it. Yeah, it's successful. Now let's also understand the time and space complexity of this solution. Time complexity of this solution is big O of m cross n, because we are iterating over all the cells. And for the space complexity, if we consider the result array, it would be big O of m cross n. If we do not consider the result array, it would be big O of 1, depending on like if we are considering the output array or not. I hope the solution is clear. Thank you.